Michael, you raised a great point that I think we don't consider often about the Edward Snowden and his revelations and what ramifications are happening in the business world as a result. You talked about how now Canadians are seeking local providers. Can you just tell me about that again?
Sure. So, I think what we're seeing take place is that trust in a cloud-based environment, when people know that their information is necessarily going to be placed online, subject to surveillance activities by the NSA or other foreign intelligence agencies, has really, I think, decreased or diminished trust in those approaches. And so what we're seeing are some countries increasingly saying we want to require local cloud-based services. We're not willing to entrust our information to cloud services that are going to enter the United States, and we now know are almost certainly subject to collection and surveillance by the NSA. And I think we're seeing customers increasingly do the same, and that's individual customers that say we're not comfortable with these cloud services, and it's even governments that are shying away from some US-based technology for some of the same reasons that for years we saw with respect to Chinese-based technology, fears that the government or governments would have access that is in many instances secret and unauthorized.
In many ways, it's similar to what happened after the Patriot Act was instituted, and then you had people not wanting to store data in the U.S. For fear of government surveillance at that time.
You're absolutely right. In fact, here in Canada, about 10 years ago, we had the British Columbia government consider the prospect of outsourcing some of its health data management. It was going to be U.S. companies that were going to lead that charge, and there were real concerns expressed throughout the province that that could lead to U.S. collection of data using things like the USA Patriot Act as the basis for a collection of that information that otherwise wouldn't have access to. That led to the province establishing new legislation trying to mandate local clouds for their activities. I think we may see that kind of approach replicated from any number of other countries, potentially provinces and the like.
You also raised a point about companies looking to have stronger encryption as a result of the Snowden fallout. Yes. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, sure. I think what we're seeing are clients increasingly saying our willingness to use your products depends upon greater levels of protection. And so we're no longer willing to simply entrust or trust you just because you've got a good name and we think you're going to do your best to protect it. We actually want to see that from a technological perspective. And so we've seen companies like Twitter and Microsoft talk about using greater technologies or encryption for their data. And even at a sort of a broader level, companies like Google moving towards encrypting their large data transfers, not solely from individuals to the company, but intra-company transfers, because they're learning that as they move data around between their various data centers, it too may be subject to capture.
Okay, fascinating times. Thank you so much for talking with me, and I really enjoyed your keynote.
Oh, thanks so much. It was great to be here.